How's it going, everybody? eCom Tom here with another video coming at you guys, and I have a very important video for you guys today. And inside of this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to not get banned on eBay while dropshipping in 2019. There are a lot of people out there talking about how they got the MC011 restriction or any other type of restriction out there, and it's really mainly because they are not following eBay's given terms and rules and services and everything like that. And I've seen way too many people in the past 6 months get hit with these restrictions, and I want to make sure you do not get restricted if you haven't already, and other ways to try to get your account back if you have been restricted. So if this has affected you, or if you've seen a lot of people talking about it in the Facebook groups, make sure to watch all of this video, because I will explain everything that you need to know to make sure that you do not get in trouble by eBay. It really is just following eBay's rules and playing by their terms and their services, and you're inside of eBay's playground. You need to make sure that you are doing what eBay wants. So if this does seem like it appeals to you, please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more information on manual eBay dropshipping in the upcoming weeks. I'm dropping 3 videos a week now, 2 videos and 1 live. And please like this video to make sure that we get this out to as many people as possible so that they don't get banned as well. So with that being said, I'll see you inside of the video. Alright, so here we are inside of my computer, and this might possibly be a long one, so, buckle up, stay ready for the ride, get ready for the ride, and, we'll get into it. So as I said, before we get started, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I am always a lurker on channels, I always sit in the background, but if you want actual updates to the newest and biggest eBay dropshipping questions, updates, everything, then please subscribe and hit the little bell notification. And if you like what you see during this video, please smash that like button right there. Don't smash as hard as this guy, don't break your phone. But alright, so what are the key points here to take away from what I'm going to talk about inside of this video? So, number one biggest key point is you want to play by eBay's rules for success. eBay has rules. They have set out their own rules, and there's a reason why they did so. So you want to play by them. Please don't try to go out, do any black hat tactics, do any scheming of the system. It's not worth it anymore. It's really not worth it, and eBay is going to catch on. Also, you want to make sure that you are understanding your seller metrics. eBay gives you a very well-defined seller metrics part of your seller hub. You can look at anything, see if you're in below standard, above standard, top rated, and you really can't go wrong if you follow those metrics pretty much to the T. But there are also other things that I'm going to talk about that you want to do that eBay doesn't really tell you too much about. You want to limit the amount of cases you get early on. The amount of cases are either return cases or items not received cases, and I'll talk about how to really limit those in the next slide, or on the slide on that. And you really want to make sure, because I highly believe it is based off of how many cases you have. One of the main reasons of getting the MC011 is based on how many cases, items not received, anything like that. Cases open up to how many transactions you actually have. They don't really talk about that in the metrics, but I really do think that is one of the biggest reasons why. And the second biggest reason, or also an equally as big reason, is because you are canceling so many items. So please stop canceling your items. I got to get my pointer out. Please stop canceling so many items. You should do everything in your power not to cancel an item and order with an item with a buyer. Sorry, you should stop canceling the orders with buyers. Anything you can do in your power to make sure that you can get an item like that item, the same item, or anything like that item to your buyer, the better. And grow slowly, not all at once. A lot of people say that one of the biggest reasons to get MC011 is growing too fast. I think it's growing too fast, and also having a poor amount of cases and other things like that. And I'll explain my reasoning later, because I've had an account grow from 0 to 63,000 in sales in literally 1 month, and I'd never got MC011. So, like I said, you want to play by the rules. You don't want to get a little red card here like you're playing soccer. This is not a game like soccer. This is a business. You want to be playing the game like it is a business. It is a business. You need to be running everything as efficiently as possible. This isn't something that you dabble in. This isn't something that you do part-time, half-assed. I mean, you can do it part-time, but don't half-ass it. You really need to make sure that you're putting in as much work as possible while you're doing this. And this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to start eBay dropshipping expecting just to make thousands and thousands of dollars, blow up the system, blow up your account, and pretty much make all this money and then just get out. It's not going to work that way. eBay will catch on. eBay will ban you. Retail dropshipping is not allowed. You need to remember that. We are still doing retail dropshipping. We are still doing retail arbitrage. But you need to make sure that you realize it is not allowed. So you need to be doing everything in your power nowadays since the update in early June. Go manual. Make sure that you're doing other things that get you not banned, which I'm going to explain later on. And just make sure that you realize that what you're doing is technically not allowed on eBay's platform. Don't screw eBay over. This is a huge point. A lot of the times when you see people, and I heard Mark from No BS Dropshipping say the same thing, and I took this from him, but it's also very true, is don't screw eBay over. If you have, a lot of people say, oh, I got banned, I don't know why I got banned, but then you realize that they have an account they never paid for, they never paid their fees, or they have old accounts in bad standing that are below standard, and they just made a new one and thought that they'd just be able to get away from it. You can't run away from your problems. eBay has you tracked. Don't worry about it unless you're doing some sketchy things to get not tracked by eBay. And you want to realize that customer service is king. If you make the customer happy, I literally canceled an order with an order with a buyer today, and I literally had the buyer say that they can't wait to buy from me again, even though I told them I don't have the item in stock, because I gave great customer service. I made sure they were a satisfied customer, even though all I was doing was refunding them their money back, and that they were happy to buy from me again. So, make sure that you are doing customer service to the best of your abilities. That's all I can say here. So, understanding your seller metrics. There are rules you need to follow. If you download the Seller Hub, this is your seller level. This is inside of your Seller Hub. You're going to find it. It's going to tell you you're above standard or you're below standard or top rate or anything like that. This is my brand new account that I did the video on last video on Monday. So, transaction defect rate. That's anything that, is a transaction, whether it was a return and you didn't give them their money back right away, or it was an items not received case and you didn't settle the case with the customer, or you lost the case, or anything like that. You want to make sure that you are not getting transaction defect rates. That's number one. You can click on all of these when you're inside your own account and check. Then there's late shipment rate. You want to make sure that all of your items have accurate handling time. So you want to make sure, first off, you're uploading your tracking on time. Then you want to make sure that you have accurate handling time. If you say that you can get it out shipped in 1 day, you have a 1 day handling time, but your supplier doesn't ship for 4 days, you're going to have a butthurt customer. Somebody's going to be angry, and your account will get affected because of that. You want to make sure you're getting the orders out on time. If you're going out on Friday night, you have a bunch of orders to do, don't go out, get drunk, party with your friends, and then wake up all hungover Saturday and maybe not even get your orders placed or anything like that. Make sure you're placing your orders. This is a business. You can't just treat it like it's some sort of part-time gig. You need to make sure that you're doing everything to the T and on time. You want to resolve all cases, items not received cases. Make sure that either you resolve it, make sure that you have outstanding evidence of you providing that it was delivered, or just refund them the money. Don't try to fight them on something. It's not worth it in reality. Cancel your items properly. There's 3 ways to cancel an item. You always want to make sure that you're canceling an item as buyer asked to cancel, but I do have some new tricks that I'm coming out with that I'm going to be updating my course with in the next week. Some new findings that Jason and I have been experimenting with. And you want to make sure you know your supplier as well. If you are starting a brand new supplier, don't just dump a bunch of items onto your store and kind of sit there and just be like, oh wow, maybe, because some suppliers might not get items out in the time that they say they're going to. Some might be faster, some might be a lot worse, some might cancel on. You want to make sure that you know your suppliers so you can be ready for anything that comes at you. And last but not least, you want to make sure you run your business properly and you will have no issues. Follow these metrics. Make sure that you're if you're the seller, think about being in the buyer's shoes. If they buy an item and you're just giving awful customer service, how would you feel? You'd probably bitch and complain to eBay as well. So, another thing here, you want to limit the amount of cases. So accurate handling time on your items is probably the best way to limit an items not received case. I've seen too many people open up items not received cases 1 or 2, 3 days afterwards, and it's because you had improper handling and shipping times on there, and it's just in transit or something like that. Upload your tracking numbers, make sure you're doing all of that. Make sure you are just doing everything that you should be doing. Don't get lazy with your business. Another thing here is make sure that the item actually gets delivered. So you can check the tracking. Sometimes it get lost. Sometimes sometimes it didn't get delivered. Sometimes, there are some things where it says it got delivered and then, the buyer says they never got it. You can't do anything about that. But sometimes it gets lost in transit and the buyer just sits there, and if you realize it hasn't gotten delivered, just check, address the issue before they have to message you about it. That's the biggest thing ever. If you address the issue before they have to message you about the issue, they're going to be a lot happier of a customer, I can guarantee you that. Don't try to scheme the system. Don't try to, I used to upload all sorts of fake tracking numbers and stuff like that. I don't do that anymore. I do that on Amazon, but I do not do that on eBay anymore. It's not worth it. If you're trying to run everything to the T, then I would not do that. Don't scheme the system. Don't use Amazon as a supplier just because of their tracking numbers. I strongly believe that even though you're using Blue Care Express numbers or anything like that, eBay is tracking that. I've seen last week or maybe 2 Fridays ago, it was 3 people contacting me that they got MC011 011 for only using Amazon in the past, and it was all three all in one day. You know, they said that they've only used Amazon. One of them was manual, or two of them was manual, one was using software. So it wasn't just a difference between software and manual. It was really just the fact that all they had in common was that they used Amazon primarily, or solely, I forget. But just don't use Amazon as a supplier. There's so many other suppliers out there. You do not have to be doing it. Don't take the easy way out. Don't take the easy way where everybody's listing the same items. Go find your own supplier. Go use different suppliers out there. It's not that hard to find them. I have tons of videos on this already. You know, get cases closed out in a timely manner. Don't just sit there and not respond to the case. Make sure that you do respond to the case in time, especially if it's a return case. If you do not refund the buyer, I believe within 48 hours now, they can open up a case and you will get a defect on your account because of it. Just don't be lazy. Realize that everything that is coming up, just take care of it right away. Try to run the most finely operated store you possibly can. And if it has to come to it, which I never want to do this either, make sure that in order to keep your account in good standing, you can lose a little bit of money. I've done this before. Give somebody a partial, if they're upset, give them a partial refund, even if your supplier hasn't given you one. $10, $5, $20, anything, an extra refund. Maybe even just eat the money of the item for the case. Anything like that. Anything to make sure that your account does not go below standard, or make sure that you are not bringing any extra attention to your account when it's a brand new account, because that is one of the highest times that eBay is going to give you, highest likelihood that you'll get the MC011 restriction. So after that, second biggest thing here is stop canceling so many orders. You do not have to be canceling all these orders. And I can guarantee you there's tons of people out there that are canceling orders because of the fact that, you know, they're going to lose money on their order, or just anything like that. Just lose a little bit of money on their order. You know, I'm going to cancel it. I will eat that order all day. I'll take the $2 loss. I'll take the $3 loss. Hell, I'll even take a $20 loss if it means that I do not have to, you know, cancel an order. First off, if you're not using suppliers like Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot, the prices, you know, some of the more obscure suppliers out there, prices don't really change. Stock doesn't really go in and out of stock that much, so you don't have to worry about canceling orders as much. But if you're using Walmart, where, you know, things go in and out of stock and change prices all the time, you might have to cancel more and more orders, or be put in the position where you might have to cancel more orders. First off, make sure that you're using suppliers that don't change stock frequently, like I just said. Make sure you have SKU Grid set up, the manual correct method through the Chrome extension on your account. You know, I teach all of that inside of my course. It's all there. It's very easy to do once everything's all set up for you, but it does take a little bit of a learning curve over time. And you want to make sure that, first off, if you've done all of that, make sure you try to find the item on a different website. You know, if it's a Walmart item, go check if it's on Home Depot. It might be a little bit more expensive, but, you know, it could be there. As long as you can get the item out, it's out of your hair. It's something. It's a situation that you took care of. So you want to make sure you do that. Check any and every website, and make sure. Usually you can probably find it if it's a pretty popular name brand item. And, you know, if not, reason with the buyer. Message them. See if they want a partial, you know, refund or something for waiting too long. Maybe it's not going to come in stock for another week. You know, offer them a discount because of that for waiting too long. I had an item one time, or 3 items one time on Amazon, where I was talking with the buyers the entire time, keeping the best customer service. Hell, I even called them. A lot of people won't even do that. And, you know, I went above and beyond, and the items did not come for 1 whole month, 30 full days after they ordered it, and I still got 0 negative feedback. Nobody left me a negative feedback because I stayed in touch with them. I reasoned with them. I gave them discounts. Then I went back to Home Depot because I was using them as a supplier, bitched them out, got the same discount. So, you know, make sure that you're hitting up your supplier if that is the issue as well. Try to get some discounts from them. And, you know, make sure that you're getting the buyer to agree to the cancellation beforehand if you do have to cancel it, and then just cancel as buyer asked to cancel. So I believe this is one of the last slides. So grow slowly, not all at once. This is especially for beginners. And I really highly don't believe that eBay is banning accounts because you're growing too fast. I believe they're banning accounts because you're growing too fast. And when you grow too fast and you're too much of a beginner, then you're going to have all sorts of different little mistakes that you didn't even realize you made that are all piling up on top of each other until they're like, wow, this kid grew too fast. And they have no idea what they're doing. Now we're going to ban them. You know, I had an account, like I said, this was last year, but I grew from $0 to $63,000 in sales in 1 month, and I did not get MC011. And I know there was people still getting it back then, although it might not have been as strict. So more sales, as I say here, equals more opportunities to mess up. Make sure that you are incrementally handling your sales if you are a beginner. Make sure you can handle $1,000 in sales in a week or in 30 days. Make sure you can handle that. Make sure nothing goes wrong. Make sure that all of your suppliers' handling times and return policies and everything are correct. Then, list some more items. Get up to $5,000 in sales. Make sure you can handle that. Make sure you have all your handling times, everything in check. Make sure you're dealing with all your cases, your customer service. Make sure you're properly outsourcing your work if you want to outsource your work. Then why not move up to $10,000 in sales and go incrementally. Be smart about it. Don't be dumb. List 500 items in 1 week. Make a ton of sales, have all these cases opened up because you have no idea what you're doing, and then just get banned. I mean, it's not worth it. This is a long game. You want to play the tortoise game, not the hare game. You want to grow like Gary the Snail over here. So pay close attention to any potential uprising issues, and nip them in the bud right away. Make sure if you see something that could possibly be an issue. If it's an item that I've seen causes an issue more than once or twice with a return or anything like that, I'm taking it off my store. It's not worth it anymore. I'm cutthroat with my items. It does not matter. There's always more items out there. And those with patience will survive. So in conclusion, like I said, this is going to be a long video. Do not try to scheme eBay. Please don't try to scheme eBay. It's not worth it. It really is not worth it. There are probably people that get away with it. I've gotten away with it very heavily in the past, but I no longer do so because it is not worth getting your account banned when they're being a lot more strict over things. If you think about it, they really want you to run an efficient business, and they're giving you everything in their rules to do so. It's very hard to break their rules nowadays, and they're making it harder and harder to do it every update. So why even do it anymore? It's really not worth it. Just follow the rules. Make sure you're doing everything to the T, and you can still dropship efficiently, effectively, not get banned, not get flagged, and still make front-end margin, not have to rely on any of these sketchy gift cards or anything like that in 2019. It's still possible. I proved it in my last video. I'm going to keep that account alive, and I'm going to keep proving it in future videos. Always keep your metrics in good standing. Shoot for top rated, obviously. If not, above standard is fine, but do not go below standard. And if you do go below standard, make sure you get out of below standard as quickly as possible, because I believe if you're below standard for more than 3 months, you will get banned no matter what. I do believe that is a rule. Stop canceling your orders. I think this is the number one reason why people are getting banned with the MC011 in 2019. I really do think so. It's just reckless abandon. And if you think about it, if you're canceling all these orders, it means you don't have these orders. It means you don't have these items. It means you have literally no idea what you're doing if you just keep recklessly canceling all of these orders. Yes, you could say, well, Tom, I listed 200 items and I didn't want to connect it to SKU Grid or any repricer because I don't want to get flagged, but I'm using all Amazon. Well, that's your own decision because Amazon changes prices all the time. Like non-stop, multiple times a day. That's your choice to use that supplier while you're using this business model, which is the manual eBay dropshipping. I only reprice my items every 3 hours, and I never run into issues with anything like that. Barely ever. And it's because I don't use suppliers like Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot anymore. It's not worth it to me. It's really not. And inside of my course, I do have other suppliers that you guys can use, and those are the suppliers I am using personally, and I'm going out and finding new ones every single day for you guys. Make sure you know your suppliers. Like I said before, I do believe this is one of the biggest things out there that you can possibly do with your account. You really want to make sure that, if you're using Lowe's, like Lowe's is going to cancel your orders. Lowe's might not even get an order out for 2 weeks because they don't even know their ass from their elbow. You need to make sure that, you know what your supplier does. Amazon changes prices all the time. Walmart changes prices a decent amount and goes in and out of stock a decent amount. Walmart sometimes isn't shipping from Walmart. They're shipping from Hayneedle or some other third-party supplier, something like that. You need to realize that you know every little thing about your supplier. So, like a lot of people say, master one supplier first, then move on to the next one. And grow based on your experience level. Don't overestimate your experience level. I've seen a lot of people try to do that. Make sure that if you're a beginner, then, go at the beginner pace. Don't try to rapidly grow. You are going to run into issues, and it's going to cause a lot of problems down the road. You're going to get banned. You're going to post in a Facebook group a big sob story about it. But in reality, it was you just really not paying attention to your business and not taking it serious enough. And you must go manual eBay dropshipping in 2019. There's no other way to do it. With all these repricing software, it's heavily pushing Amazon onto eBay and all the different ways that eBay is trying to crack down on you. First off, they admitted that they're flagging accounts. Second off, if you have high rates of return, which is very, very, very likely with Amazon onto eBay, you're going to get hit with higher fees. You're going to get hit with all sorts of other just things that are going to really make it almost impossible for you to do automated Amazon onto eBay dropshipping in 2019. And honestly, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. It is not really a legitimate business model, and I really think that as you move forward, you should be looking to legitimize your business model as much as possible. Move as close to a wholesale drop shipper as possible, because that is the rules and that is what is allowed. And a lot of the suppliers I'm using are half retail, half wholesale, and at that point, it's kind of a gray area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. In conclusion, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about, this little scenario here, this little scenario here. So please don't be afraid to ask your questions. I answer every and any question that's possibly put down there. At least I try to. I believe I hit every single question. I try my damnedest out there to do it as fast as possible as well. So please don't be afraid to ask questions. I will answer every single one. And again, if you guys did find this information helpful, please subscribe to my channel. And once you do subscribe, once you do subscribe, please hit the bell notification next to it, because that is actually the only way YouTube will push my content to you. You're not guaranteed to see it unless you hit the bell notification. So please, if you're interested in any more information, we do have a mini course in the description. Check out the main course if you want. It's 67 videos long and over 12 hours of content where I go over everything like this from A to Z on how to become successful with manual eBay dropshipping in 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit of a long one, a bit of a mouthful, but it was hopefully very informative. So thank you guys very much for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Signing out.